Okay. So I'm starting to record that now. And okay. And I'm just taking notes on this.
Okay. Did you hit play?
So, what?
Is it going?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I think yeah, it's going. Okay. So what do you think the top 3 contributors to student stress are?
Okay. I believe it is social interactions.
And is this
the first one?
The number 1 contributor?
I believe so. What do you think?
Probably. I think
so
it's
not like homework or something?
I was gonna say, buddy, I think
next.
it's almost a tie between.
So number 1, social interactions and homework?
No, number 1, social interactions, 2, homework.
I think work in general. Yeah. Any type of academic stuff, tests, homework.
Which is probably what it's
I have to say, though,
be.
I think homework is the highest.
More than that stuff?
I do.
Do you think it changes from grade to grade?
Because it's not. Yes.
I agree. I think as you, and do you agree with this? As you progress through middle school, like as you go from 6th to 7th to 8th, the social interactions become even more stressful.
I thought the homework would. Okay, so.
Do you agree?
I think in 6th and 7th. And then I think in 8th, they start to worry about
well, then they start to worry about the social interactions in high school too, though.
So
and social media becomes more prominent.
So in 8th grade, high school placement also?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. High school stuff is stressful for 8th graders.
Yeah, what classes will they take and what activities and sports will they do.
So do we need a third? So we have the social interactions, the homework.
And the changes from that homework, and well, you said that homework, that social interactions get more stressful from grade to grade, and you said the 8th grade, then 8th grade specifically high school placement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, okay.
Yeah.
Is that enough for that?
Yeah. Why do you think social interaction is so bad for middle schools?
Go ahead. Unless you want me to start.
I don't know if we're thinking the same things. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think it's because students still have a lot to learn about social interactions, and when you're a child, your social interactions are mostly with your parents and your siblings, and then in middle school you start to care more about what other kids think.
Yeah, and I think so when you start out as a baby and you continue to get older, your brain starts to change. And when you're in middle school, your brain changes in a way that a lot of you middle school age children become a little bit more self-centered, and you worry a lot about what other people think about you.
Kind of.
And how other people perceive you, and so that becomes really important throughout the school day.
Okay, and this kind of leads to the next thing. What do you think would help with all of these?
Okay.
What's the best stress management thing? Which is probably going to be different for social interaction and homework because they're completely different causes.
It's true, but I think the number 1 thing is being able to talk about it. Whether it's to an adult or a friend or a parent. Do you agree?
I agree, and we see a big difference in kids' ability to manage their stress if they see that the school staff and their parents are on the same page and all working together to help them, and we're all talking about it and having open communication.
Okay, and I have for this, how should it be implemented? But I think this is already implemented because counselors and stuff. So
well, but in the school curriculum, I think you're right because the Naviance lessons implements that. Do you know what that is? When we come in and talk about Naviance.
Yes.
That I think starts to implement it.
And then I think one other thing.
Do you think this should be actual? Do you think this should be do you think there should be an option to go to the counselor doing extended homework?
I think that's a great idea.
I do too. And then I don't know, does our student service learning hit on that at all either? No? I thought, okay.
A lot of people think it's their student services, but it's more
student service
it's more
learning
social
is not
studies and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But the Naviance lessons are because we go into the classroom and get to know you, and then lunch is a time where you can see a counselor because we're in there.
Yeah, you should have a sign-out sheet specifically for going.
That's a great idea. Sign-out sheet to see someone during lunch.
Yeah. Maybe I'm hearing like making it a bit more visible or more available for kids to be able to access the counselor.
And also, what else is available in Ellicott Mills?
Where are we?
I skipped. Yeah, I went to
Number 4?
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I guess I was wondering what was it when Grassroots came in?
Okay, so they came in and talked about like the homelessness program. That they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Okay.
really.
That wasn't
They
really
talk about the
related to
homelessness
stress.
part.
That wasn't stress.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Programs.
Like what?
Well,
Not really programs. Just
I mean,
For
one
example,
thing.
go ahead.
One thing. I mean, on the surface, it might not seem directly related, but I think our Eagle Eye, it's focusing on positive behaviors.
oh, so
and
positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. I think that helps kids with stress because it's a really positive school culture
But
program.
doesn't that make it worried that they won't get Eagle Eyes or they won't ever get pulled?
It's a good point. It could.
So
we could.
Eagle Eye has.
It's supposed to promote the positivity, but you're right. It could have a component of stress.
Has.
Yep.
What do you think?
Outdoor ed in the fall for 6th graders, I think helps because it gives them a chance to meet new kids. You know, be integrated with all the 4 elementary schools.
Yeah.
Have like really big focus on social interactions right when middle school starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then kids that are not doing very well, like that have some failing grades.
Don't have to worry about school for a week.
No.
No.
This is another one. So outdoor ed's one, and then another one is I run a group with some kids who need some help with academics.
So there are groups for kids who are having trouble with homework, which is one of the main.
Yes. Yeah.
And then one other thing, this is kind of more intensive, but I'm at this school because I work with students who are part of our special education program, and they have psychological services for me, and I can teach them about social interactions and stress management.
And do you think special ed kids are more stressed? I didn't have this there, but...
It depends, because I think it varies from disability to disability. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But I think that
So
potentially that could be true.
Right.
I don't
Because
think it's not a bad.
With learning
Also,
differences, it can be stressful.
How many people go to either of you because of stress?
Okay.
How many?
Well, wait. Go back one more
Oh,
to the programs.
Yeah. Okay.
We also have a homework. There's like a homework or after school intervention for kids who struggle with grades.
Who are stressed? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then so what percentage of students come to you for stress related reasons? All right. Well, you more like specific numbers because you see a certain amount of kids. What do you think?
Just like
Well, and I guess think of all like the kids you see 1 or 2 times with us.
I know, probably like 50 to 60 kids.
So it's like the main problem.
50, 60 kids or 50, 60%?
Oh, I'm talking kids. I don't.
Out of the school.
Yeah.
So
for Miss Tagwell, 50, 60. I work with the 6th grade. And out of the 6th grade, I would say the same amount, like 50 to 60 kids, which would be about 20%.
Yeah.
So that's not very large. 20% of the people who
20%
go
of
to
the
you,
kids.
or just 20% of the kids in 6th. Actually,
For me, 6th grade. For Miss Tag, the whole school.
Which is a lot because some kids probably wouldn't actually go to the counselor because of stress.
Exactly. So those kids were missing, right? Right.
Yeah, because they either are uncomfortable or their parents haven't told us.
Right.
Because a lot of times parents or teachers will tell me, and then I'll call the kid down.
And also, do you think, like, what group has the most stress? Like, do you think it's 7th graders, 8th graders, 6th graders?
That's a great question.
Like special ed kids?
It's different. I think all of them have a lot of stress, but they're different.
Like I say that if I was guessing,
7th?
from our data, the special ed students would be high.
And 7th, right?
In 7th grade.
In 7th, yeah.
Is that because of the overcrowding? Well, that's not.
Well, I think
because 7th grade is by far is the largest.
Is the largest, true.
It's the
but
largest.
I think it's more developmental, meaning like where they are at that age.
Middle of middle school, which is.
Yeah.
And I think the first month of 6th grade.
Yeah.
The transition period. So transition to 6th and transitioning to high school.
Yeah.
Grade.
Yeah.
Plus 9th grade.
That kind of.
There's not really much data on first month of kindergarten because
Oh. Kindergarten or 6th grade?
because you said first month of 6th grade and first month of 9th grade.
Yeah.
But kindergarten's probably the lightest jump
Probably.
because that's when you start actually going to
And that kind of
school,
stress is different because
that's
the way they handle it is different because they're so little.
most
And you know what's funny?
and most people don't remember.
At that age, you don't experience stress the same way because you don't understand as much.
It's more like physiological.
It's more why am I here?
Yeah, where's my parents? Why am I here?
Which they kind of get rid of that quickly. So
Yeah.
it's my first week of kindergarten.
It's like out of sight, out of mind at that age. But in middle school, you can remember all day, so it's a little bit harder.
And do you think students with more? This is this paraphrasing. Do you think students with more stress learn less?
Yes.
They what?
Do you think they learn? It's harder to learn.
Absolutely.
Can you explain that part?
Yes. So.
And do you think?
She can explain that a little bit. Do you want her to?
Social, yeah. Mm-hmm. But do you think social stress makes it harder to learn, or is stress about actually doing the work which you're learning about makes it harder to?
Do you think it's the social interaction stress or like the classwork, homework, test stress?
I think it really depends, but I think both.
I think both. I think both. But how does that in the brain is tied?
Yeah. So, this part of your brain, your frontal lobe, is what helps you plan, organize, complete work, all those important things. And when you're stressed out, that part of your brain kind of closes down. And your amygdala, which is your stress part, and all the stress hormones, they start pumping.
Yeah.
So it kind of shuts down your ability to learn physically.
I'm pretty sure it lowers your long-term memory. So I don't know if it has short-term effects, but it probably has worse long-term effects.
It impacts.
So if you're stressed for a day about a test, that's actually good because you study.
That's actually right. Because the anxiety pushes you to work.
So
and there's healthy level of stress. There's different kinds of stress. There's toxic stress, and there's 3 different levels. And so the toxic stress is obviously not productive whatsoever.
So we can't. So it's you can't really get rid of all stress and make.
Right. There's always a healthy level.
Because then they wouldn't learn.
Yep. I'll show you that.
And how is stress? How have the amount of students that have gone to either of you for stress changed over time?
Wait, how have the amount of students?
Oh,
okay.
I would say worse.
Meaning from when to when?
The just stress levels we're seeing trends and data in the county that shows that the stress is significantly increasing, and a lot of conversation focuses around social media.
So social media is bad.
Because of social media, kids are faced with stressors of kids contacting them and things being said about them 24 hours a day.
Do you think
pressure?
Do you think
versus
parents
just at school?
Do you think parents should limit social? Do you think you should send something home at the beginning of the year saying parents should limit the amount of social media?
That's a great idea.
I wish we could. Yeah.
That's a great suggestion. We can't tell them because kids would, but we can suggest it.
Yeah. Or recommend it.
And maybe inform the parents a little bit about.
Yeah.
How much stress is increased because of it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
And also, do you think I don't know if this increased recently, but do you think kids get more stressed doing POIC and MAPS because that's a week of testing?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so
changes
POIC.
People's schedule. It's a stressful thing in general. It's a lot of
change.
Yeah.
And sometimes kids get frustrated about other stuff, right, David? And related to the part.
Right.
They don't want to take it, or they think it's too easy, or there's a lot.
Or what's the point?
Yeah.
It can be stressful.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, what else would you do if you were the principal or something to make school less stressful?
Great question. I would do a lot of stuff.
Well, so this is tricky because it doesn't apply necessarily to middle school, but I worked at a high school in Howard County last year, and they had twice a week at River Hill High this thing called Hawk Time, and they let all the kids, they could socialize, they could complete work, they could do their club meetings.
There was a band thing and there was a supposed to.
So they gave them like a free period to de-stress in whichever
Free.
way that it worked best for the kids, and it showed to be pretty effective. They did, yeah.
And they used to have when I started in the
We
county.
kind of have extended homeroom for
Yeah.
that. but
Yeah,
then,
in a way.
Then extended homeroom, you have to catch up on everything you've missed.
So it can be
And
stressful.
Makes it
you
stressful.
like to read, but some kids
Yes.
don't like to read, so that might not be.
So
relaxing
they
to some
said offer
kids.
more. They said so offer more options during extended homeroom.
Yeah, because like some kids don't like to read,
Right.
but you like to read, right?
Yes.
So it makes So I think more options like for other kids.
Do you think like every month they should have during extended homeroom some sort of recess? But they already have that during lunch.
Right.
No, I
And
think
because that
more
just gets you
recess
really-
is a great idea.
So
Do you?
Oh yeah.
more
Because-
recess
More recess because they only get what 10 minutes.
if you eat
Even,
fast enough.
If you eat fast enough,
And then they're shoving.
and that's kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Because some kids like to take their time while they eat.
Yes, which makes it so they have less recess.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there was also
We used to
media
have a course,
passes, which I kind
Mhm.
of
or like
if you get them in
inconsistent.
5 seconds,
It was
even
like
if they were
300
media
minutes.
yes.
Yeah.
Which,
Ridiculous.
so and in my opinion, the media center was like kind of relaxing because it's
Is
the
it?
only quiet place in the entire school.
Mhm.
So to make that more available to kids,
Yeah, I
it's
think.
a great
is it-
idea. I actually really agree with that.
And do you have like any other comments that I said?
No, I think that's good. Do you have any other
I don't think so.
questions?
No.
Did we answer them fully?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good.
Good job, David.
So, should probably stop recording because then I'd be recording